Hello, everybody, and welcome to the preview with Facecam for a change. And it's a very, very different preview to what you'd normally expect to see on the day before a game. I'm joined by Kieran. Kieran, how are you, mate?
I am great. Thank you, Joe.
That's great stuff. And I've gone very dark. This is why I don't do preview with Facecam. Anyway, in case you couldn't tell by the big badge on the wall behind Caden, he's a Peterborough fan. And when me and Caden always come and sit on a Zoom call, it's always a great laugh. So for the next 10, 15 minutes or so, we're going to sit, have a laugh, and talk about the game ahead.
Yes, and hello everybody, my name is Mark Oxlong. Today, I'm going to be giving you some big football stats.
Start off though by looking at key players who have Hull City's defenders, Hull City's attackers, Hull City's midfielders got to look out for the team in blue on Tuesday, Caden.
So in goal we've got Christy Pym, who is a solid keeper. He's not too bad. We've got quite a few solid players. We've not really got a standout player like we usually have, like, for example, Ivan Toney, Marcus Maddison, Jack Marriott. We don't have any players like that. But yeah, if I had to pick one standout player that I think is, a little bit better than the rest, I'd probably say Nathan Thompson in defence. He's a very solid centre-back. We got him from Portsmouth on a free. I think he left Portsmouth because he wanted to go to a championship club because he was fed up with being in League One. And then he was a free agent. He couldn't find a club, so he ended up at us. So, yeah, he is a very good player. His main position that he, started his career off was right back. And we decided to, when we switched to the five at the back, we decided to put him in centre back, which he's been very, very good at centre back. Probably his strongest position, in my opinion. Yeah, very solid defender overall, and he's our star player in my opinion.
Very, very, very interesting stuff. For us, we've got Gavin White, who scored 2 last time out. He's going to keep King Lewis Potter out the team. And who I think you should personally look out for is Malik Wilkes. He's in fantastic form. Scored a hat-trick against Wigan, scored a goal against Rochdale as well, bagged a couple again throughout the games against Wimbledon and Doncaster. There we go. So he's on good form. And as I say, Gavin White scored twice at the weekend. Gotta probably look out for him, I'd say. In terms of at the back, Louis Coyle in at right back. He's got the armband at the minute due to Smallwood's injury. So he's probably he will pose a threat. Him and Callum Elder, the two fullbacks. We'll talk a little bit more about Elder in a few moments, but the two fullbacks, they like to push on, they like to get forward and cause your wing backs, and if you play wingers, some problems.
The key players for both sides, I think you got to look out from Peterborough, so you got to look out for Johnson, Clark, Harris and Sammy Smudgic, Streaky Dan Berry. Those front three that can be so deadly. You maybe look at Joe Ward as well, got a joint second most assists in the league, so he's got to be looking very good. He's looking very strong for them this season. But then if you take a little look over the Hull City side, I think you got to really be looking at players like Gavin White in great form and Hekiba Dewican. What? Dewican doesn't play for Hull City anymore. Are you taking the piss?
If you look at your recent form, you've been in very, very, very good form. Other than, of course, at the weekend when you lost 2-1 to Burton Albion. It happens to the best of us, mate. Don't worry. Happened to us as well. So you're in quite a good spell. You're in some of the best form in the league, but so are we. The only black mark on our last 5 games is probably the Ipswich defeat, where we didn't turn up, and to some extent the Doncaster game, in which we should have held on, but just didn't.
So our form, we've been quite good in recent games. We always do have a blip. And we are currently second in the league. You're currently ahead of us on goal difference, but hopefully, if we were to get a decent result, then who knows? But yeah, not bad form. We usually do go on a little bit of a blip of form. We're never a team that always wins. We always win 5, lose 1, win 5, lose 1. That's just how we are. But I'm looking forward to the match, and I believe that we can at least get a point.
You mentioned the league table there. Let's have a look at that table. Hull City, we've played the most games in the division. We are top of the table on goal difference, ahead of Peterborough, and then there's teams queuing up all the way down the league. The playoff places are very tight. The relegation battle is very tight. Only 2 teams who I'd say are very clear of both of those battles, not going to go up, definitely not going to go down, are Shrewsbury and Burton.
Now, if we take a look at the league table, it's looking. If I just clean my glasses quickly, because I can't see without them, and I keep getting steamed up because I'm clinically vulnerable and masked. I think Hull City are top of the table on 62 points after 34 games. Then it's Peterborough just behind them on 62 points after 32 games. Hull City are ahead on goal difference at the moment. Hull City the league's top scorers, may I add, I think. Yeah, they are. Then in the playoffs you got Lincoln, you got Sunderland, you got... Is that Grimsby Town? No. No, it's Doncaster Rovers, who have 4 games in hand on Hull City. And then you have Portsmouth just inside the playoffs. Outside you got Accrington Stanley and Ipswich.
Now, us Hull City fans are very vocal about Grant McCann's tactics and 4-3-3 FC. Of course, Peterborough will know all about Grant McCann as a player and as a manager. But I believe you're currently not playing his 4-3-3. What formation and tactics do you play?
Most of the season we've been playing a 5. Well, I guess you could say a 5-3-1-2. Recently we decided to switch up with Dembele and Sammy Smolix behind Johnson Clark-Harris. And then we went to the 4-4 at the back, a 4-2-2-1, I think. I think that's about right. I don't know.
I think it'll be a 4-4. Yeah, it'll be a 4-4-1-1.
Yeah. We decided to go for that. It's been okay. Yeah, it was okay, but we always seem to switch it up. I don't know what formation we'll start with. I do think we should go for the 5 at the back with wing backs and then 2 behind the striker, just to support Johnson Clark-Harris as he is he's a player that I think he's quite good as a lone striker. So I'd like to see us play with a 5 at the back and then 2 strikers or 2 centre attack midfielders behind Johnson Clark-Harris.
Do you not think with the 2 wingers it might leave with no wingers for yourself, your wing backs a little bit exposed, especially with the 2 full backs pushing quite high for us?
Our wing backs are okay. I like Joe Ward. He usually does play right wing back. He's quite a good player. He's more of an attackive right wing back. But at left wing back, recently we've been going with Dan Butler, who is quite a defensive type of player. He's more of a left back, but I guess he can play left wing back. But what Posh fans are wanting to see for this game is Harrison Burrows, a young player, start. When we lost 2-1 to Burton, in the final minute of the game, Harrison Burrows did score a goal. So I think we're all praising for Harrison Burrows to start. And personally, I do want to see him start, especially if we want to attack you a little bit more than usual.
Now, I believe it was Butler and Ward who played in those wing back positions for you the last time we played you. Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Harrison Burrows came in just after we had the little bit of blip of form, and he did all right. We decided to bring in Dan Butler. He's done okay, but I think last time we played you, we were all right. We weren't even anything special really. We weren't even playing that fantastic. We just managed to get the result that we were wanting somehow, which I didn't really expect.
Now, to what sort of tactics Peterborough are going to employ? Typically, they play a 3-4-3 sort of formation with 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs, 2 centre midfielders, and Smodzik, Dembele, and Johnson Clark Harris in front 3. But in the last game, the 200 feet away at Burton, the Pirelli Stadium, to Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's resurgent side, who were bottom of the league not only a few weeks ago, but they put a very good man together. They play a 4-2-3-1 with 4 full-backs. They push person who normally play wing back to the winger position. They move one of their 3 centre-backs over to right back. So they might change things up a little bit in their 11 for the game tomorrow. They might change a lot of things up. They might change nothing. I don't know.
It was a 2-1 loss for the Tigers at the Caircom the last time these two sides faced off against each other. From my recollection of the game, it was very even, but I thought we were the better of the two sides. You just had one chat. We gave Johnson Clark Harris one opening and he scored it, which is exactly the sort of strikers we don't have. We could have double the amount of goals we have this season if we had someone like him in the team. Someone like what Ivan Toney was for you last season. But, oh well, we're still scoring. We're still the league's highest scorer, so we're clearly doing something right.
If you want to go to the game before that these two played each other, you have to go all the way back to January 2013, the Championship, when Hull City were trying to get back in the top 2 of the league to get promoted to the Premier League, but they were prevented from doing so in that game in a 1-0 draw because their now manager Grant McCann came off the bench and scored a penalty for Peterborough to make the game 1-0. Deny Hull City a spot in the top 2, but they'd go on to get the top 2 place at the end of the season, whilst Peterborough got relegated to League One.
Okay then, one of what is personally my favourite segments to research for my previews, Shared Shirts now, a player which has played for both sides in the featured game, in this case Hull City and Peterborough United. There's a plethora, as Grant McCann brought in a lot of ex-Peterborough players last season when he joined Hull City, such as Leo da Silva, Ryan Tafazoli, Martin Samuelson, to name a few. Oh, and Marcus Madison. But the one we're going to look at today is Callum Elder.
Now we're looking at the shared shirts now, where we're looking at player that play for both sides. We're looking at a Hull City player today, former Peterborough man. We're looking at Callum Elder. And now Callum Elder played for Peterborough between August 2015 and January 2016 on loan from a little known team who were going to win the league called Leicester City. That's not League One, that's the Premier League. Just in case you were a bit confused there. But what was happen for Elder is he would play very well in 21 games. He would score a couple of goals under Grant McCann. In fact, he's only scored 1 goal actually. But Elder's initial loan was only until about October time, but it was extended out because he was so good and McCann loved him so much. But he got an injury, a very severe injury in a game against Blackpool, I believe, which ended his season and his loan spell with Peterborough. But Grant McCann liked him so much that he would take him to his next job not his next job because he went to Doncaster after Peterborough, but he'd take him to Hull City. And Elder remains with Hull City today and is one of their key players. He's been playing very well this season. and Callum Elder has played 66 times so far for the club.
So as was discussed there, Callum Elder is the player we're looking at on shared shirts today. For Peterborough, he was there on loan from Leicester in 2015. He joined in the August. His loan ended in the January of 2016. He impressed so much for them under Grant McCann, of course. That's why he's a Hull City player. That McCann extended the loan from what it was originally supposed to be. I believe it was due to end about October time. And for us, he's been pretty decent since he joined us from Leicester on transfer deadline day in the summer of 2019. Kept Brandon Fleming and Max Clark out of the team upon Clark's return to the club. He sadly got injured in training, so I doubt we'll be seeing him in a Hull City shirt for a little while longer. But what do you remember of Callum Elder's time in blue and white, and what was he like for you as a player?
He weren't too bad for us. He was only at us for a bit of a short loan spell, but in his 21 games, he scored a goal, which wasn't too bad for a left back. But yeah, he weren't too bad overall. He was on the verge of improving, and I think he's improved a lot since we had him. Obviously, Grant McCann was a big fan of him, so he brought him in.
Clearly.
Yeah, he's brought in quite a few players from the old posh team, which weren't even a fantastic team, but you like the look of them. Yeah, Callum Elder weren't a bad player. He weren't the longest of loan spells, but he definitely weren't a terrible player.
So the bit you've all been waiting for in this preview then, the score prediction from both of us. Kieran, what are you saying?
So this season, we seem to always go 1-0 down in games, or we just seem to score most of our goals in the second half. I personally, from our last few games, I can see us going 1-0 down, but then I think we'll score 2 goals. And I think we'll win the game 2-1.
The exact same as what happened last time.
Yeah. We usually tend to come back from 1-0 down, or we're quite good at making comebacks. So I can see us hopefully winning the game. We've got a very good home record, the best in the league. I think we've only lost once at home in the league, which was Blackpool. Since I think it was August 2019, so quite a while. We've been very good at home. We've got a very good home record. Our away record isn't too bad, but we're at home, so I'm looking forward to the match, and I do believe we have a chance at winning. Hopefully we'll get back to winning games. And yeah, Joe, what's your score prediction?
So London Road is a tough place to go. I also think it'll be similar to last time, how it'll be a very even game between the league's 2 top clubs. And it's a season-defining game for both teams. If we win it, yes, every team has games in hand, but we will have a much bigger advantage now, being 3 points ahead and having points in the bag, because games in hand are good if you win them. But I believe that it will also be a 2-1 scoreline, but this time to Hull City. Very tight game. I think there'll be very, very little in it. And I can see us maybe scoring a fairly late goal to win it. Maybe through someone like a Malik Wilks or a Keane Lewis Potter off the bench. Maybe even Tom Eaves, because when Eaves comes off the bench, he has a very, very good goals to game record. But what do you lot think? Let us know in the comments down there. Hit that big red subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to Kieran as well. Follow him on Twitter. All those links that you need for him are down in the description there. And while you're on Twitter, drop us a follow as well. My links are down there as well. Thank you very much for tuning in to a very different preview to what you normally expect, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. I've gone dark. Great. I'll see you later. Thank you very much to you, Caden. You probably can't see me because I've gone extremely dark again. Goodbye. Oh, I just dropped my finger in a drawer.
That's going to go in the bloopers.
As in the bloopers.
My dad's drilling something. but in his time when he was at Posh, he did okay. He did score a goal, but you know, centre backs don't really score many goals.
Left back.
Yeah. Oh no. Do that again.
We got it.
I'll be honest. I don't even really know too much about him. I just had to
freestyled it. Oof. I've got all cramped up sat here. Might have to go do some star jumps. So what? Right, I really need the loo. So while I'm having a number 1 or 2, not going to specify. I just started fading out. And
I said see ya. Why did I say see ya? It's just the most awkward see ya you'll ever.
I just started fading out. It was just.
I just went. I went.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Stick that in the bloopers.